When it comes to vacuuming, robotic vacuums are all the rage, and for good reason. Of course they're effective, but they also save you tons of time you can spend elsewhere. However, robotic vacuums are a big investment, and most worth having start around $300. That makes it pretty hard to take the plunge on a device, especially if you don't fully understand how it even works. I'm Jacob Palmer from bestreviews.com, and I'm here to eliminate that uncertainty from your shopping process. We've spent the last couple months testing dozens of robotic vacuums, and we have with us today 4 of our absolute favorite models from 3 of our absolute favorite brands. We've got 2 Roombas from iRobot for you today, the S9 Plus and the i7 Plus. We've also got a model from Eufy, the X8 Hybrid, and one from Shark, the AI Ultra. We could probably spend an hour telling you every little detail about each of them. Instead, we're going to stick to the big picture with a few smaller details that can make a big impact. One of the biggest pieces of the picture is, well, how they picture your home. In other words, the navigation system they use. This is one area where both the Eufy X8 Hybrid and the Shark AI Ultra have a big advantage over both Roombas we have here with us today. Both the Eufy and Shark have a more advanced system that lets them quickly map your home and give them an edge in accuracy if you command them to clean specific spots. They also have object avoidance, meaning they can see or sense an incoming object and go right around it. The Roombas still have a great navigation system that maps your home with accuracy, but it can take them longer to do so, and their accuracy wasn't quite as good. They also don't have object avoidance, which does come in more expensive Roomba models like the J7 Plus, but these will do the classic bump and reorient move robotic vacuums are known for. Another major factor is how well they vacuum. This is mainly a function of their suction power, but other aspects like their brush size and build can affect it. Let's go from worst to best and start with the Shark AI Ultra. Simply put, it doesn't offer much power. This leads to it struggling with efficiency on both carpet, especially if the debris is ingrained, and hard flooring. It does have an edge cleaning feature which boosts its performance on hardwood though. Essentially, what that feature is a fan that blows debris out of the corners so its round body can clean them up and get it off the floor. Next is a tie between the Roomba i7 Plus and the Eufy X8 Hybrid. The Eufy has the most suction power of all 4, and by quite a margin, but its brush still has issues getting debris out of carpet, especially as that stubborn pet hair. The Roomba i7 Plus has about half the suction power of the Eufy, but because of Roomba's dual roller brush system, it still performs better on carpeting. It also struggles with pet hair, but not as much as the Eufy, and both performed excellently on hard floors. The best performing robotic vacuum of these 4 is the Roomba S9 Plus for several reasons. It has the dual roller brush system standard on Roombas, and it also has higher suction power than the i7 Plus, enough to handle pet hair on carpet with little issue. Its suction power also adjusts automatically depending on the surface and severity of debris, and it has a unique D shape so it can reach easily into all corners. The last major difference between our 4 robotic vacuums is whether they have a self-emptying feature or a mopping feature. Both Roombas and the Shark AI Ultra do have a self-emptying feature. This means once their interior dustbin fills up, they return to dump it in their charging base and then resume cleaning. A small point of difference between brands is that Roomba bases use disposable bags, which are more hygienic, while the Shark base doesn't, which generates less waste. The Eufy X8 Hybrid does not have a self-emptying feature. Every time it fills up, you have to pick it up, remove and empty the dustbin, reinsert it, and return the Eufy so it can keep cleaning. In return though, the X8 Hybrid is also a robotic mop, hence its name. Even better, it can mop and vacuum simultaneously. This is an amazing feature for homes with mostly hard flooring, but you should definitely go with one of the self-emptying models instead if your home is mostly carpeting or rugs. These last 2 aspects we're going to cover aren't the deal breakers that we just discussed, but they could help you make a decision if you're stuck between 2 models. Let's start with battery life. Again, from worst to best. We found the Roomba i7 Plus could get up to 90 minutes of battery life, while the Roomba S9 Plus could hit between 90 and 120 minutes depending on how its suction power adjusted, though our testing found an average of 107 minutes. Again, it adjusts depending on the types of floor you have and the amount of debris it's expecting to handle. The Eufy X8 Hybrid has 4 power settings that affect the battery, but on the second setting we got 129 minutes out of it. The Shark AI Ultra managed to run a little longer than its 120-minute max mark that the manufacturer boasts on its packaging, and it went for 140 minutes before dying. There are 2 things to note here. First, All three of the self-emptying robotic vacuums have a recharge and resume feature, so running out of battery isn't the worst thing. And secondly, Eufy robotic vacuums in general have some issues maintaining their maximum charge over time. Next is the size of the robotic vacuum's internal dustbin, plus the Eufy X8 Hybrid's water tank. Still, going from worst to best, the Roomba i7 Plus has a 0.3 liter capacity, the Eufy X8 Hybrid has a 0.4 liter dustbin with a 1/4 liter water tank, the Roomba S9 Plus has a ½ liter capacity, and the Shark AI Ultra has a roughly 1 full liter capacity. Considering both Roombas and the Shark are self-emptying, their capacity only determines how often they need to return to the base. But since the Eufy isn't self-emptying and since the dustbin capacity is fairly small, it's really only recommended for smaller homes. Lastly is how much noise they generate. Here, they're all pretty similar actually, averaging between 65 and 75 decibels. The Roomba i7 Plus was on the lower end and the Roomba S9 Plus was on the higher end, with the Eufy and Shark robotic vacuums being right about in the middle. However, the self-emptying features of both Roombas and the Shark generate tons of noise, spiking up to around 80 decibels. This is a little bit louder than the average regular vacuum. The last thing to discuss is how much they cost. The Shark AI Ultra costs about $600, the Eufy X8 Hybrid costs about $650, the Roomba i7 Plus costs about $900, and the Roomba S9 Plus costs about $1,000. If price isn't a concern, even though we know it almost always is, the Roomba S9 Plus is the best all-around robotic vacuum of the four, performing better in almost every category. If price is of most concern, the Shark AI Ultra's set of advanced features is hard to beat, even despite its low suction power. The Eufy X8 Hybrid is really only fitting for smaller homes with mostly hard flooring. If that's you, it becomes much harder to recommend the Roomba S9 Plus over the Eufy X8 Hybrid. And that's it. We hope this video helped you simplify your purchasing decision and that you're excited for your new robotic vacuum coming your way soon. If it did, make sure you like our video here, leave a comment with your own thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss a single helpful product tip or review from bestreviews.com.